Hello everyone, a very good morning to all of you. Today we would be talking about test data preparation for QA testing. As we all know, test data is a very critical and a cornerstone of successful application testing. Absent, obsolete, or wrong test data may prevent the tester from executing the test cases or give unreliable test results. Often we create the test data manually. So, as we all know, humans are to err. So we all do mistakes, and maybe the test data is not up to the mark. So, coming up to the point, now we would go into automation of test data preparation. So, automating test data preparation will help us in creating accurate test data without any manual intervention. As we all know that manual test data creation is time-taking process, and also, as I said earlier, there are chances of error in human creation. That is why we have come up with an approach to create the test data through automation solution. Coming up to the point of difference between manual test data preparation and automation test data preparation, we can say that around 20% of the tester time goes into test data preparation while he is doing the testing manually. So if we do this through automation, it will not only save 20% of the time which manual tester is giving in test data preparation, also it will create an accurate and more stable test data according to the environment. Also, we do not know the desired number of test data until we come across the deliverables or the number of test cases to be executed. But during runtime or during the execution of our test cases, once we have automated the test data preparation process, we can say that we can create n number of test data in a very small period of time. So thereby we can focus corely into the project testing, and we can focus on the QA process itself. Now, after this explanation, the question comes up that how would we be doing it? So, for the successful implementation of test data preparation through automation, as our automation team have come up with a robust, easily understandable and easily maintainable data framework. We are using Excel as our data source for fetching data for the application under test. Excel, being known to all, is a very easily understandable solution for data. Also, we have made this framework so dynamic that it can be maintained by anybody who does not even have knowledge of automation testing. This approach will enable us to provide input test data as per tester requirements at runtime. In front of you is the Excel template which we would be using today to demonstrate you a test case execution in the runtime. So, looking at the Excel data, you might be thinking, what are the fields all about? We have multiple fields and multiple columns, and they have multiple purposes. Coming up to the first row, we have our input parameters which goes into the script as variables, for which we have defined the values underneath. Say for application URL parameter, we have defined the URL in the 4th row. Similarly, for the login credentials as user ID and password, we have defined the values in the 4th row. These values are not positional or can be moved into any position into the Excel sheet. But for the maintainability point of view, we have kept it as per the pages. Being dynamic in nature, you can change the values for the input parameters in runtime. Say the application URL which we are using is currently RC environment. So tomorrow if you want to run the same script on the UAT environment, all you need to do is change the application URL to UAT and give the relevant user ID and password. Similarly, you can change the different parameters for the same sub-request type. Currently, we are viewing a sub-request type to create a new account for Dell. For Dell, we are creating a new account for Abu Dhabi region with a basic package code of Dell 004. Now if you want to change the package code or the region or the party ID, then you can do it dynamically through Excel. Also, if you want to run multiple sets of test cases through Excel, all you need to do is add multiple rows to the Excel data source. Just to give a brief explanation about our data source, we have got our sub-request type, which is new account. We have got our product, which is Dell or the landline. We are using an existing party which is already created in the CBCM database. Going up to the region, we have given it as Abu Dhabi region, and all the relevant fields have been filled out. We have also commented the datasheet with relevant comments. If the field is mandatory, we have commented it as mandatory. Otherwise, we have commented it as non-mandatory. So it is very easy to maintain the data source as well. With this data template, you can execute multiple sub-request type across multiple products and across multiple environments. What you need to do is select the relevant template in the Excel. Say for new account, we have selected as VO Dell new account. We can add multiple other sheets in the same Excel for various other sub-request types such as add service, delete service, or change invoice details, or any other of the services. Now let us go to the execution part. So now let us go to the execution part of the test case. As you can see that we have script for Dell new account here. We have actually 3 components in our automation solution. First one being our capturing engine EasyScript. You can see here in EasyScript that we are giving the file path location for our execution. It is the same file path for the file which we had mentioned earlier. It is the same source Excel file. From that Excel file, we are getting the dynamic values as application URL, user ID, password, and so on and so forth. So now to show you the second component of our automation solution. We have our ALM or application lifecycle management, which we call it as TestMagic. I am going to log into TestMagic for our execution. I would be selecting the relevant project and subproject. So once I am in, you can see that a test case has been assigned to me, and it is the same test case of Dell new account. We also have a supporting component to support TestMagic in execution of the test cases, which we call it as Magic Connect. So to kick off our execution, we'll just select the test case and click on Run Now. It is as simple as that. So once we have clicked on Run Now, the status of the test case should go to In Progress, and an entry should be created in the Magic Connect, which would show us the scheduled time and where it is scheduled and by which server it is scheduled. So as you can see, we have invoked the EasyScript execution engine for the execution of the test case, and the execution has started. You can see that we are now executing the initializing for the test cases, which defines the test data file path and some of the common components. Now you can see that the username has already been taken by the Excel sheet as automation. So the automation tool has launched the application, and it would be logging in into the application. Now we are in the application. Now we are executing the main scenario. We would be going to SOH, then request and order handling, then capture customer request. As the page loads, it selects the sub request type. Then to select the party ID which we had defined in the Excel sheet, it searches in the party ID single select screen. Once party ID is loaded, then it loads the Emirates code and the account region. You can see that offering type is selected as package, and we are searching for the package code Del 004, which is also loaded from the Excel source sheet. Once it is loaded, it selects the mentioned package and gives it to the new account. So now we are continuing with the next page. Now we are on the override screen, which we have also defined in the Excel sheet. The status, which is incomplete, should be checked and the remarks should be filled up automatically. Now we are going forward to the next screen. Now as you can see, all the screen's status has been completed. So we would be doing the final save to create the request type. Now as you can see, the request has been generated successfully.